questions from within the room before opening it up to the media, please remember to click the raise hand function if you have a question.
James, it's fight week in Milan. You really seem to enjoy this part of the build-up and sort of thrive on the energy of a fight week. Just tell us how you're feeling at the moment.
Yeah, I'm feeling great, cool, calm, collected, prepared, confident, and I'm happy to be here and ready to go.
And this fight is a long time and several occasions in the making. Just tell us how excited you are to let the talking get set to one side now and just get it done on Saturday night.
Yeah, so it is. I've been prepared for this fight now 2 or 3 times. I think I've been prepared for it, and it hasn't happened. And so I'm prepared and I'm ready to go, and I'm going to be stepping in there on Saturday night, and that's that. I'll be there. And
in its most recent iteration, this event was going to take place this weekend in Dublin. Obviously, that's not happening because of the pandemic lockdown. But you know, we know what the atmosphere is like on a Dublin card. How is this going to be different with the lack of fans? Will that have effect on the fight in any way at all?
No, not have effect on me nor the fight. But it's definitely sad the fans can be there, but I'm here to win.
Sean?
Hi, James. It's been just about a year out of the cage this week for you. Just the first thing for me is how good does it feel to be back after that long out?
Feels fucking great, mate. Back doing me. Do you know what I mean? And it's been good. Though I've been out of the cage, but I've trained for 3 fights. Do you know what I mean? So I've been close to a few fights. So it's not like that I've been just laying back chilling and relaxing, even though I've been doing a good bit of that as well. But I've been working hard and staying focused, and I've been improving during that time off. I haven't been laying up, putting my feet up, do you know what I mean, and doing nothing. I've been learning and growing, and I'm looking forward to showing that on Saturday night.
Obviously, this Eleanor fight, it's been set now, feels like 50 times at this stage. Is it for you? Is it kind of getting it over and done with more than anything, this fight? Or has it built up so much that you're more ready now than ever to face Cal?
No, I'm not. I'm ready to fight. I don't give a fuck who's in front of me. He's not even, he doesn't play a factor in any of this because he's too, do you know what I mean? Why would you let someone unreliable play such a big factor on something? Do you know what I mean? So I'm just growing myself and bettering myself, and I am here. I'm prepared, and I'm here to fight. I'm not trying to get anything just over with. I'm not trying to get past anything. I'm here in the moment and prepared to go.
Obviously, Juan Archuleta fought a couple of weeks ago in your weight division and won the title. And I actually put out a tweet that night saying I'd love to see you fight Archuleta. And lots of people, there was just scoffing, like from the media and from fighters and different people. When you see a reaction to that from someone who has won most of their fights in Bellator, only won all but one of their fights in their career, what's your reaction to that? The people still aren't respecting you, even though you've done it all in your career so far to get to where you are.
Sorry, who did you say? Media or laughing at me?
But loads of people, everyone replying to it was saying the same thing. Kind of.
Stick to their job, doing media. You interview me. Do you know what I mean? That's what I would say to those people. Not about you in particular, but they're. Do you know what I mean? They're laughing at me. And then what do you see when I'm fighting for a title and I tell them to go fuck themselves when they're asking for an interview? Well, we'll see who's laughing then.
I know that feeling. Last thing for me, James. Obviously, throughout the lockdown, it's for a lot of people they've been separated from their family and friends and all. And I know being around you in fight week, you always have your family around, your mother and father always around. Was it a big thing for you, like during lockdown, to kind of be separated from them and maybe not have that close support base with you? We always ask people, how did the fighting go on? How did you stay fit and everything? But for you, was that a big thing for you?
No, I was with my family. So okay. I went to Dubai for 2 months, me and my girl, and then I was just training there in a little private back, and I moved home. So I moved house, and I put a big gym and whatnot in my house, and I had everyone staying around, and I was with me family. It was the best time I've had in a long time. I had good family time, training in my own gym. And yeah, I loved it. I was able to relax. The only thing I could do is spend time with my family and train. It's great.
Gareth?
James, I want to go back over what someone else was saying just now. You are one of those people that definitely thrives with your back against the wall. If you're being booed, if you're being cussed, you get something special out of you. Have you prepared psychologically at all for, last Saturday we had no crowd there and it was very silent. Have you prepared at all psychologically for that?
Yeah, I don't need to. It's not that I need to psychologically prepare myself. I'm prepared to fight. I'm a fighter.
Special out of you.
I thrive off
Have you
fighting.
prepared
I thrive off
psychologically at
winning.
all for,
That's what I really thrive off. I don't need crowd. I don't need nothing. I don't need other people. I don't need anything. I'm here. I'm ready. And I'm here to fight. I'm not here to get this out of the way with because it's the fourth time. I'm here to fight him.
No, I do get that, but there's no doubt that you're someone that thrives. A lot of people there, and
I thrive more off winning.
Yeah, okay.
I thrive more off winning, and that's what I'm here to do, is win. And when I smack him in the head and I can hear the noise of my glove smacking off the side of his face, I'll thrive off that. Then when I take his back and I hear him crumbling and wincing and I'm sinking in the choke and I can hear everything, I can hear him gurgling and choking and we're ready to get out of there. That's what I really thrive off. I'm dark, Garth. So it suits me better having no crowd. I can't wait to hear the noise of my elbow bounce off his cheekbone. It's going to be great.
Do you? It's a great description. Do you? Obviously, a lot of people say that he has dangers for you as well. You do respect him as a fighter, though, yeah. Even though you guys don't particularly like each other.
Yeah, definitely. I respect everyone that steps in there. Everyone's good. Do you know what I mean? And there's no easy fights. It's another grown man looking to beat me. Do you know what I mean? And that's just the way you have to respect that. Well, what do you think? I'm a fucking idiot? Do you know what I mean? Like, well, what do you think? I'm a clown? I have to respect that, and that's why I'm going to win. Is because I know what he's good at, and I know that he's very dangerous, and I'm going to respect that and not play into his dangers.
Ben?
Hi, James. It seems like you're in a really good place now. You've just moved out of the city. You got your own gym. You're in the countryside. How much better can life possibly get for you?
It can't be. Life can't be any better for me right now. I've got everything I need and everything I want, and I'm in Milan here now, ready to go, on weight, prepared, feel fit, feel healthy, and that's all that matters. That's all that matters. Do you know what I mean? Nothing else matters. No, there's no crowds. There's this. There's that. It's not. I'm fit. I'm healthy, and I'm prepared to fight.
Yeah. How do you stop yourself from getting complacent with this level of comfort then?
What you mean? Why would I not be comfortable doing my job?
But if you're if you're in such a great place, what's your driving force? Is it getting the win? Is it becoming a world champion? What
Win.
drives you to get better?
Win, to beat him in front of me, to pick him apart and showcase my skills and prove to myself that I am the better fighter. I'm one of the best fighters in this planet, in this division, and that's what I'm here to do.
Mike?
Hey, James. Hey, James. Last time, I had the opportunity to talk to you was back at the press conference. There was obviously that altercation, and hearing you talk today, it's not surprising to me because of the conversation that I had with you that the pandemic hasn't affected you, the delay of this fight hasn't affected you. But I'm just curious, and I know you don't care that it's Cal, you just care about getting back in there and winning. But is that bad blood still there? And that was a very beautiful description of the violence you're going to bring to him. But do you still want to do all the bad things to him that you felt that day in March when you guys had that altercation at the press conference?
No, when I step in there, I've got no emotion to him at all. I just think he's a fucking clown. So I do. Like, outside, I just think he's a fucking, he can't put 2 and 2 together. Do you know what I mean? He's trying to make 6 out of 2 and 2, and it's just not happening for him. But when I step in there, I've got no feelings for him at all. So I don't. I'll feel his cheekbone off my elbow. That's the only feelings I'll be catching.
Niall? Now your line is live. All right, Jake.
Yeah, hi James, you're right. It's been 12 months away now from the cage for you, but it's not been 12 months away from work. You've been grinding every day. What version of James Gallagher can fans expect to see come Saturday night?
The best.
It's 10 years now as well so far for you in your pro career, and only being 23, that's phenomenal. How do you sort of assess that first decade of your fighting career?
Definitely stuff. I would never change anything. Do you know what I mean? Because it's put me where I am today. And where I am today is a really, really good fucking place. A place that I've always dreamed of, but hard to imagine. You know what I'm trying to say? I always had the dream of being here, but now when it's a reality, it's the hairs are standing on my arms talking about it. Folks, you can actually see them on the yoke. Do you know what I mean? And it's great. I couldn't be in a better place mentally, physically. I'm fit. I'm healthy. I've got my family around still, and I get to fight. I get to fight again. Do you know what I mean? I just love fighting. That's that.
One or two more questions here, Andrew.
Hi, James. It seems like only yesterday you were running around on Snapchat doing impressions of Khaled with Kiefer Crosby. Now you've headlined multiple cards with him. Do you like that?
Stop! I forgot all about that. Another one. Stop.
How important is it to you to have somebody like that who's been with you since there and has these like-minded goals? And you can see the kind of the results there, both on the main card for this fight.
Yeah,
how important is it to surround yourself with people like him?
That's great, mate. You know what I mean? We're just here having a laugh. Do you know what I mean? It's just all fun and games, and we're just enjoying it, having fun. Young lads, do you know what I mean? Doing what young lads do, and enjoying every fucking step of them. You know what I mean? Every step of the way. There's no point taking things too serious.
Nathan?
Hi, James. I heard an interview you did last week with Irish Radio on Off the Ball. You were talking about moving home and how much energy you were getting from that situation, having a nutritionist around in the house. And how are you feeling when a little bit closer to fight night? Is the energy level still high? You look very relaxed. You seem very relaxed.
Even fucking better, man. So they are even better. Why they're rising? That's what I'm saying. I'm not draining myself now for a big weight cut to try and feel good on Saturday night. My energy goes up and up and up and up the closer I get. It doesn't go down.
Good stuff.
I'm not like these other boys in here. I'm not like that.
And you said obviously you're not paying too much attention to Cal and stuff like that, but is there a part of you, because it's been scheduled 4 times, that will be relieved just to get it out of the way after Saturday night and move on?
No, I'll live every second of it. I hope the seconds feel like minutes. I'm not here to get this over with. Long 3 rounds in there. I'm prepared. Why rush it? Why rush it? Not rushing nothing. Nothing's gonna be a long night in there, and I'm gonna love every second of it. Trust me on that.
Niall? Jake?
Hi, James. Jake Jones here. Nice to speak to you. So many of the guys, many fans see the winner of this fight as the next European guy to compete for the bantamweight title. So if you get through Cal this weekend, is that what you want next?
When? Yes.
As the next guy to fight for the title?
Yes, when I get through Cal, not if. When I get through Cal, yes.
Absolutely. So a few months back, I hosted a series of interviews with Bellator bantamweight fighters. And when I posed the question who they'd like a shot against, literally 9 out of 10 guys said they would like it against you. It seems they all want the fight with you. So if you had to pick, mate, who would you take next?
Sergio Pettis.
Love
but
it.
I'm not looking past Cal. The next guy I've got is Cal Eleanor. That's who I've got, and that's who I'm focused on.
All right, great. Thank you very much for the time, James. Good luck the rest of the week.
Thanks. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Next up, we'll have Kiefer Crosby. Once again, we will field a few questions from within the room before opening it up to the media. Please remember to click the raise hand function if you have a question.
Kiefer, it's been a long time since Bellator Dublin in February with the extended layoff. Just tell us how excited you are to be back into a fight week now.
I'm buzzing to be here, to be honest. After my last fight, we went straight into the pandemic, into lockdown, and the world fucking changed. So I didn't think I was going to see another fight this year, to be honest. So I'm very grateful to be here, to be honest. And fair play to Bellator, you know what I mean? They went above and beyond for us. They made it happen, and I'm super grateful to be here. Yeah, so can't wait to get in and do the job.
You referenced that last fight there. It was a tight contest in the end, a split decision. You got the win. What did you learn from that fight?
You know, that adversity makes champions of men. You know what I mean? I had a hard week, you know, but fuck it, it is what it is. Look, fights don't always get finished. I beat that man on a really bad week. You know what I mean? So that just proves who I am as a person. You know what I mean? I know who I am. I know how good I am. It was a hard week. It was a hard night. Like, literally battled a lot of personal stuff going into that fight, as everyone knows the full story, and it was tough. Still showed up when many people would have pulled out. Still got in there when many people would have been rattled by the whole thing. Bear in mind as well, I was the biggest draw on the event. Sold most of the tickets for the whole arena. Co-main event. I had thousands of people coming to see me live. So-called pressure on my shoulders. And baby, only a couple of days before the fight, all that shit couldn't wait, and I still showed up and I still won. So it is what it is. There's no point on bringing up the past anymore. I'm 9-0. I'm undefeated, and on Saturday night I'll be 10-0.
And the reception that night for you in particular was electric. And obviously Saturday is going to be very, very different. You're a guy that seems to really feed off the energy from the crowd. So how do you think you're going to be able to deal with a behind closed doors event this week?
It really doesn't matter, to be honest. I know Dublin is a unique place to fight. You know what I mean? There's like fucking 12,000 people on their feet going mental, and it's almost like you can't. It's so loud you can't hear anything, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? You have to experience it. It's not even noise. It's just vibrations, and you can feel it. A Saturday night, it doesn't matter. It gets back to that real fight. You know what I mean? One-on-one, man-on-man, fighting in a cage. No people, no noise, no nothing, just fighting. And that's who I am as a person. I grew up fighting. You know what I mean? I've been fighting my whole life. This is nothing. The only difference is I used to get handed charge sheets when I got into fights. Now I get handed paychecks. So I'm living the dream. You know what I mean? I get rewarded for doing this. So I'm literally living the dream, to be honest. So happy days.
Sean?
Hi, Kiefer. The first thing I want to ask you is about what you were talking about there coming into this fight, and the difference, maybe not necessarily on fight night, but in maybe fight week coming up to it. Obviously, a lot less pressure this week. Obviously, we're only a couple of days out now. How are you feeling kind of this week coming into it? Are you feeling like, oh God, I'm more well prepared in terms of I can kind of sit back and think about the fight as compared to the last time you were out?
I can actually get a bit of a sleep this week. You know what I mean? I still have a newborn baby in the gaff. You know what I mean? I haven't been sleeping great, but God, I woke up asleep last night, and I woke up, I was like, Jay, no crying or nothing. So I feel great. I feel like I'm on a holiday. It's brilliant. You know what I mean? I'm chilled out. I'm enjoying myself. I'm enjoying life. I mean, as I said, look at the past few months, what the world has been going through. This has been a mental time for everybody. And a lot of people have lost their jobs. A lot of businesses have closed. Now I have friends of mine that businesses have been shut up shop, and it's horrible to see. And you can't even help them out, do you know what I mean? Because it's nearly impossible, do you know what I mean? And I'm seeing these things, and I know people close to me that are struggling financially, and for me now, I get to go, and I didn't lose my job, you know what I mean? I get to show up to work on Saturday night and do what I love to do and make a lot of money doing it, and you know what I mean? I'm very grateful for that, and I think gratitude is a very, very important, strong emotion to have when you do something in life, you know what I mean? I'm just full of gratitude. I'm happy to be here. I really am, and coming out of lockdown, you know what I mean, I trained hard, and I did all different type of sports and stuff to stay fit and active. And then coming out of the whole lockdown thing and getting back to the gym full-time training, it was like a new surge of energy I'm after getting into me mind. Do you know what I mean? Like, I just wanted to, I realized this is really what I want to do, and I'm just so grateful to be on these mats doing martial arts every day, and I'm in the best shape in my life, you know what I mean? As you can see, you know what I mean? And I'm mentally in the best place in my life because I'm just happy that this is going ahead. And yeah, I'm in a good spot right now, and I just can't wait to turn 10 and 0 on Saturday.
Is there any bit of frustration at all? You know, you were the last few times I talked, you were talking about going down to 155 pounds, and again, it's a catch weight coming into this bout. Is there a little bit of a frustration that you can't get down, you can't prove the 155 pounds and kind of get yourself into that division?
Yeah, but this is the thing. I'm supposed to fight Soren back. He signed the contract. I signed the contract. It was a 155 contest, and then he got injured. He pulled out, and then Charlie stepped in, and he couldn't make 155. So I was like, right, whatever, get someone else. But then they liked the fight, so they said 160, and I was like, right, I at that stage I just didn't care. Do you know what I mean? I know Charlie's an experienced opponent. He's fought a lot of good people, and I knew in my head he'll show up to fight. You know what I mean? So I just said, like, let's do that. And but look, I know I could make 145. To be honest, if I had to kill myself, I could make 145. I know my capabilities, and right now, today, what's a Wednesday? I could make weight tonight. You know what I mean? So I don't have to prove to anyone anything. You know what I mean? In my mind, this is a lightweight fight, and that's it. You know what I mean? Who cares about the weight? When the door closes in the cage and we're having a knock, who cares? You know what I mean? No one gives a shit. So, but I am a lightweight. You know what I mean? I said this the last time, but the next one will be a lightweight. But let's see what happens. Who knows? My fucking track record.
Andrew?
Hey, Kiefer. You spoke there, like last fight, you had to basically cut weight in a labor ward. Now you're fighting in isolation in the middle of a pandemic. What is the main takeaway for you this week outside of, the usual chaos that would surround you for fight week?
Nothing. I mean, I'm just doing, I don't know. It's all of it, no matter where you are or what you do or what fucking, like, no matter what's going on physically, it's all up here. No, like, that's it. You know what I mean? You can lock me in a room, lock me in this hotel room for a month, and I'll go in there and win the fight. You know what I mean? I don't give a shit. It's literally, you have to have that mentality, that bulletproof mindset, that no man can beat me mindset. And I have that, and I firmly believe that. That's why the last fight I had to show up and fight. You know what I mean? Mate, you'll have to kill me, rip my heart down my chest, and dance on it for me not to show up to a fight. You know what I mean? I'm telling you, that's up here, mate. I've been through far harder times and far worse times in my life than fighting another man for a lot of money. You know what I mean? I'm enjoying this. This is handy. This is an enjoyable thing to do. So I don't really care about any chaos or pressure or any of that shit, to be honest. Nothing affects me mentally. Nothing. Zero. So, as I said, all this stuff, again, the quarantine thing, the lockdown is like my life anyway. I go to the gym, I go home. I go to the gym, I go home. The only difference was the gym closed down, so I was like, fuck, I have to adapt and train elsewhere. You know what I mean? In the park or going long bike rides, running and shit like that. But other than that, I'm happy. I'm very, very happy I'm here. I'm in Italy, mate. It's 22 degrees outside. I get to have pizza on Saturday night after winning another fight. I get a big paycheck. I mean, listen, I'm living the life. This is the life. You know what I mean? So, happy days.
You've said before, you don't need anyone to tell you how good you are. You know how good you are. I need great people to tell me how to get better. Obviously, you're one of the biggest stars in Bellator now at the moment. How do you pick and choose what advice to take in and who to just, tell to kick rocks?
Yeah, look, let's re-quote that. Yeah, tell me how good I am. Tell me how good I am. I don't. Again, goes back to what I said just there a second ago. I don't really care what anyone says about anything. Do you know what I mean? Whether I'm just looking to learn and looking to improve as a martial artist, and I love training with people that are better than me. That have higher credentials, like black belts, or far more, experience in big organizations, or that have been through the mill of it. I surround myself with champions and winners, with winners' mentalities. I'm always trying to educate myself to get better and better. And that's it. That's all you can do. You know what I mean? At this level, you can plateau if you do the same shit, or you can excel if you mix it up. And I've been mixing it up with some of the best martial artists I can get my hands on. And that's always what I'm looking to do. I never want to be the same. I always want to be stepping up and getting better. So that's my mindset, to be honest. Again, compliments do nothing, you know what I mean, for anyone. Just boost your ego, and ego is a silent killer of success. So I think that fuck all that and just focus on improvement and focus on education and getting better and learning. And even my physical shape, my nutrition, my nutritionist has been schooling me on how to eat correctly, how to sleep right, what the supplements to take better, and stuff I'd never known before that correlate with my training schedule and making You know what I mean? Making me spars more energetic and making me feel better and recover better, all that shit. And that bodes well with my life, you know what I mean? Making me a better athlete, which makes me a better fighter. So all that stuff, you know what I mean? That's what I'm all into. It's just seeking improvement. That's it, to be honest.
Jake?
Hi, Kiefer. Jake Jones here. You mentioned it a second ago. You are the biggest draw on cards, and it showed at Dublin. You literally electrified that crowd. I said it yesterday, but you're one of the most marketable guys in Bellator MMA. You'll go 10-0 Saturday night. Would you like a main event next?
100%, yeah, 100%. It's time to shine, you know what I mean? Did a couple of interviews during the week, and I mentioned Miles Jury's name, and these are people I'd like to be fighting, all these so-called ex-UFC guys. That'd be a nice main event as well. He's a good fighter, a lot of experience, coming off some wins. He's a big, so-called big name, and as am I. And but there's no point in me saying I'm going to be the best in the world and beat these guys if I'm not fighting these guys. So let's me and Miles Jury do a main event in December over in his neck of the woods in LA. How about that?
Ben?
Hi, Kiefer. I know it seems like a world ago now, but I saw on Instagram you were training with Danny O'Donoghue from the Script back earlier in the year. How did that come about?
Yeah, well, Danny, like obviously he's mad into his martial arts and into his boxing, and he's been training with my friend Owen Ruddy, as you all know, and me and Owen were chatting one day, and he said he'd like to train, and we just got to talking, and was it my last fight? I think it was after my last fight, a fight beforehand, maybe a week or two after it. And we just organised a training session up in Ruddy's gym, and clicked it off. He's a bloke from the inner city as well, like myself, that made it, a very successful career for himself. I'm a big fan of the Script as well. Shout out to Danny. And not only that, but he's a beast. You know what I mean? He's a hard worker. He trains every day in martial arts. He's a real martial artist, and he's a real artist. You know what I mean? He's done like dancing and singing. He has good coordination. And when I trained with him, I was like fucking blown away by how good he was. So shout out to Danny and the boys in the Script. It's good to see people from the inner city actually excelling and doing something great in that field. And I'm from the inner city and I'm doing something great in my field. And I think when you get two people that are doing great things, we clicked and we hit it off straight away. So yeah, he's always in touch with me. He's always texting me. We always text each other back and forth and all. So he's 100%, Danny is, yeah.
Andy?
Hey, Kiefer, you spoke about surrounding yourself with fighters that are more experienced with you and learning from them. You're fighting a 25-fight vet in Charlie Leary. What would a win over a more experienced opponent like that do for your career?
Like, again, it's all about winning, isn't it? So, like, I mean, you have to just win. That's nothing else matters but winning. So for my career, again, it just sets me up that I'm coming off a win. I'm 10-0. I'm making noise, I'm doing my thing and building myself up. I'm moving on, I'm moving up, and you know what I mean? Like a little step closer to a bigger name or a more experienced lad or a belt or whatever. I respect Charlie. I think he's a very tough opponent. I think he's good stylistic matchup, if that's what you want to call it. He comes to fight, and I like that about him. And I just think it's a good fight. I think it's a very good fight. And he's on in for a treat on Saturday night.
Nathan?
Kiefer, James was kind of mentioning, obviously the last few months have been tough in Ireland and the rest of the world with the lockdown, but on a personal level, it's kind of benefited him in terms of much less distractions in the world to focus on training, different parts of training. You mentioned trying different sports, you mentioned a couple of other things. Would you agree with that?
No, you know what I mean? The lockdown hasn't been a positive on anyone, I don't think. I think people, again, try to change their mindset and say, it's been great for me, but that's just a selfish thing to say. The lockdown has been shite. It's been brutal. The pandemic has been horrendous. It's been fucking, there's no positivity that's come out of this, I don't think. I think people have to just get back to normality. And, again, discipline is not a problem with me. It's whether the world is stopped or whether the world is haywire. I'm disciplined, do you know what I mean? And I think it's time for the world to get back to normal now and people to get back to their regular routines. And people are going through some very, very hard times, and it's sickening to see, to be honest. Do you know what I mean? They're not highlighting all them things. They're highlighting fucking a couple of cases getting thrown here and there, and it's sad, but they're not highlighting businesses closing down, people suffering with their mental health and suicide rates going up, and families having to move into hostels and kids having to be homeless in tents, walking around the inner city of Dublin, seeing families on the fucking streets. That's the negative part of it. And again, coming back to the gratitude, I'm very grateful that I'm in a position, and I've worked hard enough to be in a position that that's not me. And I've worked hard to have money in my bank and have a roof over my head for my kids and my girlfriend and be able to take care of me ma. Do you know what I mean? And do shit like that. And on Saturday night, again, I'm going into this fight full of gratitude, understanding all of these things. The world has been crazy and hasn't affected me with, you know, the sickness or anything like that or money or, you know, and I'm very, very happy for that. And I'm grateful, but I've worked very hard for many years. So, but no, I think, yeah, I know what you mean. Like it's whether, you know, lockdown keeps us all disciplined, but not really, to be honest. It hasn't really done much for that. You know, I didn't need the lockdown to get more disciplined. I was disciplined in the first place.
All right, Kiefer, thank you very much for the time and good luck the rest of the week.
Thanks very much, guys.
Next up, we have Shanee Cavanaugh.
Hold on.
Now being joined by Shanee Cavanaugh. We will field a few questions from within the room once again before opening up to the media.
Sinead, it's been a long time coming, but it's fight week after a long layoff. Just tell us how you're feeling to be here in Milan.
Excited and ready to go. Ready to go and ready to fight. So yeah.
You're nicknamed KO for very good reason. 4 of your 6 wins have come via knockout.
Mm-hmm.
Is the plan to add a 5th to your record this weekend?
Yeah, I have fists like Thor's hammer, I've been told. So yeah, I'm ready to take our head clean off once again. The girls that I fought, when they feel that power, their face changes and you don't want to know. So hopefully the same happens again.
You bounced back last time out and got the win. What have you been working on over this extended break to make sure you notch up back-to-back wins?
The boxing, as last few fights, I went back to basics with the boxing and been working on that, just tidying up a little bit more, and because that's my bread and butter, and it's where I'm more I have more ability than me fighters.
Your opponent's making her first appearance on a Bellator card on Saturday. Are there any ways in which you plan to kind of exploit that relative lack of experience that she has?
Well, she doesn't have lack of experience. She was on the Ultimate Fighter, and she's 7-2, so technically she has a better record than me, even though I've been effect over a few times, but she has experiences there, but I think I'm just on a different level, going to be on a different level to her, and she's just not going to, I don't think she'll take these shots,
We'll now turn it over to the media, and please remember to click the raise hand function if you have a question. Sean?
Hi, Sinead, how are things? The first thing I want to Our things really good. We talked to James and Kiefer there just before you came on, and Kiefer was kind of saying the knockdown was very negative for him. James was saying the opposite, it was very positive for him. How did you find it and coming into the fight now after it?
Negative, actually. My head was a bit all over the shop, and I was trying to do things like the home workouts where I was just had enough of them, so I was kind of just losing myself here and there and trying to get back and then lose myself again. So yeah, I found it very tough.
Mm-hmm. Obviously, your last fight was probably the biggest win of your career, the best performance of your career against Olga Rubin. Sorry, is it a bit but is it a bit tough that it kind of taken a bit longer than you would have hoped maybe to get your next fight after that?
Yeah, I wanted to fight obviously sooner. So it's nearly a year now. That last fight was in November, so it's nearly a year. But actually, I'm raring to go for this, and I have a lot of experience over the years. So it is what it is,
Mm-hmm. And that last one for me, Sinead, obviously you're always calling out the name Cyborg, and Leslie Smith fought a couple of weeks ago as well. I think you mentioned her maybe a little bit there earlier on. Is that one of the fights you're looking for after this? Do you want one of those big fights maybe over in America at the end of the year?
Yeah, she's hiding. She's she has been blocked off everything, and she's just not. She's calling out other people like no, you owe me a rematch because you got your head smashed up. Do you know what I mean? She's actually she needs to give me the rematch, and then she can call different people out because I won the fight, So after you fight me, then I would call people out. You know what I mean?
Ben?
Oh, and then yeah, I want a big name again, Kat Zingano. I'd love to fight her, and I'd love to fight. I want Chris Cyborg fight. I think I deserve. I want it. I want that title shot. So.
Ben Keeley.
Hi, Sinead. I know before lockdowns and all that, WWE star Becky Lynch was in SPG. Have you had a chance to train with her when she was in?
I'm sorry. What was that?
Before the pandemic, Becky Lynch was in SPG training for a bit. Did you get a chance to train with her?
No, I was out that time. Like, oh, Becky Lynch. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, no, I did train with Becky Lynch. She was yeah, in SBG, and yeah, it was great having her there, and yeah, training with her. Yeah.
And I know she started off doing jiu-jitsu and stuff. How does her martial arts skills hold up today? You know.
Oh, good. Yeah. She's a superstar. You know. She's great at the talk and everything. And yeah, I look up to her that way. She's a good soul. Like.
You mentioned some potential opponents. You mentioned like a rematch against Leslie Smith, Kat Zingano, big name who just made her debut. Is there room, do you think, for a featherweight tournament in Bellator?
I would love it. Like, I think there's plenty of good fighters there. I think it'd be something to look forward to. I think it'd be great. Like, so many good women, and yeah, I think a lot of people would watch that, and it'd be the first one for the women. Like,
all right, thanks, Sinead.
All right, thank you.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Go ahead, Lenny.
Yeah. So my first question is, as we mentioned earlier, it's almost been a whole year since you've got into the Bellator cage. Has that kind of affected your progress as a fighter?
No, definitely not. Like, it makes you more like this lockdown. Like, it was like playing with your head a little bit, and it was just remembering what you love, what you do love, like, you know, and you do love fighting, and you do love going through this situation and making weight and not having the finer things and the cake and all that. So yeah, it made me realize how much you love it. Like.
Yeah, someone mentioned earlier that you did TKO Olga Rubin. Are you looking for the same result this weekend?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I'm going for a round 2. Like, I do feel like the first round I try to. I'm just kind of warming up, and the second round I usually come on better. So after I sum up my opponent, like, so yeah, number 2, it's going to be head clean off, I think.
Thank you. That's all for me.
Thank you.
All right, Sinead, thank you very much for the time today. Good luck the rest of the week.
All right, thank you.
Next up, we have Kane Musa. All right, we are now being joined by Kane Musa. We will field a few questions from within the room before opening it up to the media. Please remember to click the raise hand function if you have a question.
Kane, first of all, it's been a long time in the making for you, but it's finally fight week again after an extended break. Just tell us how you're feeling now you're here in Milan.
You know, obviously we're here, we're experienced fighters, and I'm really excited that Bellator have been able to give us this opportunity as fighters to be able to, you know, put on such an amazing card, well, so many cards in such a crazy, unforeseen time. And yeah, man, we're ready to go. We're hungry, we're trained, we're fit, we're focused, and it's our time.
Just looking back onto the sort of extended break and the lockdown period, I know from interviews before that you've spoken about some of the ventures you're involved with outside of cage. Just tell us a little bit about those and how they kept you busy during the lockdown period.
Yeah, so obviously, you know, people who may not know me, but the majority of people know I've got my brand, which is obviously I'm wearing now, Bada Sport. And obviously this is something that's really excelled, a brand that's excelled over the last 3 years. We've just literally signed an exclusive deal with Foot Asylum, which is one of the largest retailers in UK and Europe. And it's something that I'm passionate about, which is obviously my clothing. And yeah, we're reaching heights that we knew we would achieve, and it's been able to something to keep my focus on, and it's been a major priority for me as well. Yeah, alongside with the training.
Just looking back at your last fight, you know, it was a tight split decision in the end.
Yeah.
And what did you make of that decision, and what have you learned from the fight itself?
Well, look, you know, a fight's a fight. I went in there against another experienced opponent. You know, he had a specific game plan which he was able to execute. You know, I felt on the night that I won the fight, being in the fight, I was the one who felt his energy. When I had him up against the cage, I could feel him breaking and wilting. I cut him open. So, you know, I was a bit upset when the decision didn't go my way. But, you know, the fight's a fight. The fight game's a fight game. You win some, you lose some. And we all know the usual saying that you can't leave the fight in the hands of the judges. So I've learned from that fight that this time around we have to go out there and we have to get these stoppages, because, you know, fighting on such a major platform, it's what the fans want to see, and it's, as a fighter, it's what you want to do. You know, I go in there, I want to try and finish my opponents. I'm not really in a boring fight, and I learned that this time around we go in there, we let these hands go, and we make sure that we have a major impact.
And just on that, you know, you've got 5 KO victories to your record. Your opponent on Saturday has 9. Is that very much where you see the fight being won or lost?
Yeah.
Do you expect to stand and trade, and do you expect him to do the same?
Well, look, at the end of the day, what I've learned, once again, another thing I learned from the last fight is you can never say where the fight's going to go, depending on whoever's game plans what. And, you know, but he has a lot of stand-up fights, and that's how he looks like. He likes to get down, so that's how I like to fight. So hopefully it can stay in that realm, and if it does, then most definitely guaranteed to see something devastating coming from these hands.
Santiago?
Greetings from Amsterdam. Kane, how are you doing?
I'm fine. Nice to speak to you, Santiago.
You made your Bellator debut last year in Birmingham with a very strong performance. How special was it for you making your debut in Birmingham and getting the win there?
Yeah, that meant the world to me. You know, I fought another tough opponent in Mateus Pitchkos. He was a strong opponent, and I went in there and I got tested, and I had to dig deep, and I had to pull it out of the bag, and it meant a lot. Look, Bellator's an organisation that I've been idolising for years, and being able to be given the opportunity to fight in there was such a great opportunity. And then obviously just to get the win, it meant so much to me.
What do you know about your opponent, and what did you make of his last performance against Alfie Davis in November of last year?
Yeah, you know, take nothing away from my opponent. I'm just a realist in the sport. We're all here to fight. We're all trained athletes, and you know, he's a strong opponent. He's got decent boxing. He put a lot of pressure on Alfie. Alfie was able to nip the win. That was a fight. You could have said, you know, Alfie probably landed the more cleaner, clinical shots. But hats off to Botty. He put in a good performance, and yeah, he's a strong opponent.
I know you are called the Danger, but there's a teammate of yours who's called the Miracle. How important is his contribution for your preparation to a fight?
Yeah, shout out to Lerone, shout out to Manchester top team at the same time. Lerone's such a great prospect in the sport of MMA. He's one of my main training partners, and his impact in my training camps is very, very important. He's a clean, crisp striker, and obviously I'm fighting somebody who likes to strike. So we've had a lot of rounds in me and Lerone preparing for this fight, and it's highly unlikely that but he's going to be able to do stuff that I've not seen within either my fight career or in the gym on the lead up to this fight.
Last thing for me, what would it mean to you, Kane, if Bellator would come to Manchester next year? Do you think this will be a huge success?
Yeah, this is, look, Manchester's the fighting city. We've had so many big fighters come out of Manchester, and with me, myself being such one of the biggest known fighters in the UK and also in Manchester itself. If Bellator comes to Manchester, guaranteed it'll be an amazing show. Everyone will turn up for it. Manchester's the city, man. We need to get it there. So let's go, Bellator. Let's get it to Manchester.
Good luck on fight night, sir.
Thank you very much.
All right, Kane. Thank you very much for the time today. Good luck the rest of the week.
Thank you very much. Speak to you soon.
You got it. Next up, we have Chris Bungard.
Chris, it's been a long time coming, but Fight Week is finally here after an extended break. Just tell us how you're feeling.
Feeling good. Feel dead more relaxed. I'm in a mellow. I've had a mellow week. Obviously, we're still going through the weight cut process, but we had to go through the quarantine now. But I mean, this is my job. It's all part of it, and it's just a process, really. But I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good spirits. The weight's coming off nice. I'm excited to get in there on Saturday and put on a solid performance, a well-rounded performance.
Just taking a look back at your last fight, you fought a former Bellator champion. What did you take from that experience?
What did I take? Well, obviously I took great experience in fighting in a main event against a former champion, but I think it was a bit naive jumping at the chance to headline in a show. More was I ready to compete, especially against Brent, a guy who's such a high level fighter. So I just kept seeing the lights of Bungard main event. That was what was pushing me on. When realistically, I hadn't even trained really, and I was on holiday. And I had like 3 sessions before it, so they were all the signs that I should have. But I filled in for somebody, so I didn't want to be that guy to pull it after filling in. So and I just made the walk. I felt comfortable, great warm up. I was doing all right, and I hurt my elbows, nearly submitted them. So it's just one of the things, just a wee learning curve really, and I'll take the experience and we'll move on to the next one.
You had a busy 2019 and early 2020. You fought 4 times in the space of 12 months.
Yep.
Do you thrive on being constantly active, or have you seen this extended break as an opportunity to reset?
I love being active. 4 fights, that probably isn't even enough for me. I'd probably like to do 5 in a year. But in the other side, the flip side, it is like the rest that gives your body time to heal up for what you put your body through every day as an MMA fighter. Everybody knows the knocks and niggles, aches and pains. So it was good to get a wee rest, but you're a fighter, you're still chatting at the bit, you want to be active, you want to fight, you want to compete, and obviously these days you want to make money, because the world we live in now is just, if you don't have money, you've not got shit, I mean. So I like the rest with healing up, but also I love being active. Like even from my amateur days, I'd fight so many times a year, it was unbelievable. So I think I want to fight as much as I can until the day I retire, probably.
We know you as a fighter that brings a lot of energy to fight night, and the crowd really seems to respond to that. Have you prepared for a very different atmosphere on Saturday?
So I was my teammate's corner in Abu Dhabi, and there was still a wee bit of an atmosphere. And then I watched the show on Saturday night in Milan, the first show, and I couldn't hear anything. And I was like, that's got to be interesting. I could hear the feet working the canvas in the corner, clear as day. And I thrive off big crowds. Like I've got a big audience. I've got a lot of fans that make a lot of noise and sing and create an atmosphere. And I thrive off that. I walk out there, I look at the fans, I interact a wee bit. So it could play a factor. Obviously, when you're in there, your tunnel vision, you're focused on your opponent, but I don't know how the walk's got to be. That would be the interesting thing. The walk and hearing your announcer just announce you to an echo, basically. So it's definitely got to be interesting. So I'll give you my honest opinion after the fight.
Jake Jones.
Hi, Chris. Jake Jones here. One question that is something that I think we all want answered. Bellator MMA have really got hold of the Scottish MMA scene at the moment, and there's no doubt that we can get a card made. We've got obviously yourself, Ross Houston, Chris Duncan, Robert Whiteford. So just how do we get Bellator Glasgow to happen?
I don't know. I think we maybe need to pin the owners down and at knife point and make them sign a document. No, the Scottish way is obviously not a nice point, but you know what I mean. I don't know, man. I mean, I've been, since I came onto the scene in Bellator, like in Channel 5 debut, I stole the show, and since that day, I've been begging for a Scottish show. Now I've got former world champions in Ross fighting MVP, Chris Duncan's on a tear, as you mentioned, Rob Whiteford, great last couple of seconds finish as well. We're all finished fights as well, and that's all you need, really. Just tell the other rest of the cards with your Irish, your Welsh, your English, and it'll sell out. I know for a fact my fans would sell that show out. Be it the Hydro, the SCC, any venue. You just have to take a little wee bit of faith on the Scottish fans, because they generate an atmosphere like no other. Like I'm in a big crowd every week. Well, I was before COVID with the Celtic games, and I've got a lot of fans that are that like to bring an atmosphere. So, and I'm not the only one. So,
Absolutely. Well, I totally agree with you. Celtic fans always bring the atmosphere. And if there's a Bellator Glasgow event, will you be wearing the Celtic shirt around there to get the crowd going?
Of course, I wore it out in Dublin, and it got a great reception. I would love to wear it in Glasgow, obviously, but only when the COVID's away. Like, you're not got to go to Glasgow and it's an empty arena, because that would just be a waste. You've got to Glasgow when every seat is sold, and every seat would be sold if I'm on the card and a few of my teammates.
Absolutely. So, talking about Saturday night, what's your prediction? How do you see yourself finishing the fight?
I see myself finishing the fight with strikes, actually, with elbows, maybe a knee in there. Obviously, my opponent's a solid judo black belt, very athletic, southpaw, quite awkward. But I can see me hurting him. I'll take him down, beating him up a bit, and him just breaking, and then me putting him away. If he wants to give me a submission, I like a submission, but I want to move about in the feet, get the strikes going a bit, and pick him apart, then see how the fight plans out there. You have 1,000 ways in your head that you think the fight's got to go, and sometimes it doesn't go that way. So that's the way I'd like it to go.
Gareth?
Hi, Chris. How are you doing? This is Gareth A. Davis here from the Daily Telegraph in London.
Well, of course it is.
Are you deliberately wearing your mask upside down, by the way?
Maybe I'll keep on listening.
No, it looks amazing. No, it looks amazing outside. Chris, one of the things you talked about just now, and you're a very honest person about your emotions when you're fighting, is something that I think we all enjoy about you, and it's part of the reason why there's so much joy when you fight. I know it's obviously very tough, but there's a joy about you when you fight. Did you find lockdown tough in any way?
No, not really. Obviously, certain aspects there, but no, I'm quite strong-minded that way. I mean, I get this through my MMA and through my fights and cutting weight and stuff like that. I'm quite strong-minded that way with lockdown, and I always adapt and overcome certain situations. Obviously, it was a bit more drastic, this one, because it was globally, but no, it didn't hit me too hard, as much as I know it would hit other people. But as I say, adapt and overcome, and no, I was all right. That's quite good.
Yeah, because it's like the point Dan was making earlier on in the questions, that you were so active last year that, you being active is something that seems to suit you. And I completely agree with you. I think if you've got one target right now, it should be aiming to be the headliner when there is the first Bellator Glasgow event, because there's no doubt that you've got the character and the personality all special out of you, don't they?
Yeah, of course. I feel like I was born to be under the main lights, the bright lights, the main events. Like growing up for amateurs and in my first early pro careers, I was always a headline in shows in Britain and Scotland and England. So, and obviously one day you want to be in the big show with the big headline, and all the media is around about you. You're on the poster and stuff like that. I just feel like I'm a headline and act, kind of like a festival event. People would come and see the headline, not me. So I just feel like when the lights are on me, like I kind of need a big audience. I need the lights on me, and I need a wee bit of pressure on me. Putting pressure on me makes me train harder, but focus more on the fight. If I know there's a chance that I could lose a fight, then I'm going to be more switched on. I'm going to put a lot more effort and time into it, and sometimes I need that.
You were very honest earlier on in this interview as well about saying that,
honest.
Yeah, I know. But what I meant was you weren't masking anything in terms of when you watched the event on Saturday at the weekend. I was there working it. It was incredibly quiet in the arena. and that you have to watch yourself. You personally are going to be very present, knowing that it is a fight, there is no audience, there isn't that to feed off. And it sounds like you've made yourself very aware of that going into it on Saturday night.
Yeah, because you need to be, if you know aware of it yourself and you can say it out loud, then when you get in there, you're maybe got to get a fright. Like, people can act a tough guy all they want and kid on they're bulletproof mentally, physically, like, but I just say it the way it is, and it could be a factor what going in there, like, being so quiet and hearing everything. And I love a crowd. I can play to a crowd, I can interact with a crowd, and I can entertain a crowd. So if it's like a deadly silence and I can only hear, which might be a good thing, my coaches and stuff. But as I says, like, I can only give my honest opinion after I do it, because it will be one of the things that you'll need to experience it firsthand.
Andrew?
Hi, Chris. You seem to be having a bit of look at the bookies the past few weeks. I was wondering if you had any predictions or tips for anyone on the card this week.
I'll do, like, see, sometimes the bookies do like a favourite bet, like the bet of the week or something. I'll do one of them, right? I'll bet, or I would go, if it was me, that is, I'd go, no, I can't touch that one. I've got conflict of interest in a few of them and some friends and that, so I don't want to pick that, but I don't know, I'd probably bet money in Charlie Ward knockout. No, obviously it's a big favourite probably. If he's got to win, it's probably got to be a big knockout, but probably that. I need to look at the card, to be fair. I remember.
You can tweet it to me later. I really enjoyed your documentary, and going back over, there was one event where you came very close to taking a very different career path. Shooting that documentary and going over all those incidents, did that have any effect on your future at Bellator and what you wanted to go with your goals going forward?
A wee bit, obviously. When I was younger, I didn't grow up to be a fighter. You know what I mean? I just kind of fell into it. I actually wanted to be a fireman. I don't know why, I just wanted to save people, and now I'm in a job where I want to hurt people. It's quite the Lion King and all that, I suppose. But no, like, obviously through my first fight, then I could see that I could make a living, and then it just swung my full life about. And how I wanted to live the rest of my life and what I wanted to do with it and stuff like that. And it just got me thinking a lot more on the future, basically, like home and the family and stuff like that. So I think it definitely, like, my debut in the documentary definitely changed my life definitely for the better, as you could see, because obviously I could have went down a lot darker road.
Chris, this final question comes from Stuart over at Grassroots Boxing in London. He wanted to shout out your role with Chris's House. Given what's happening in the world, how important are these charities during the pandemic to offer advice and support to people who are suffering from mental health? And how involved have you been over the past few months?
Well, thanks for that, Stuart, anyway. So Chris's House, I'm an ambassador for a small organisation in Scotland, which is great to be massive, actually. It's a charity-funded organisation called Chris's House, which deals about suicide prevention and people with suicidal thoughts and stuff like that. So it's run by a woman called Anne Rowan, who lost her son to suicide many years ago. So she's got hundreds of basically volunteer workers that are working round the clock. There's the only place in Scotland and Britain that are open 24/7. So I'm kind of an ambassador for them. I'm not a counsellor, that I just kind of appoint people in the right direction if they need to talk to somebody, or sometimes if I can lend an ear. But yeah, so Chris's House, obviously in this pandemic, a lot of people are alone and they're alone with their own thoughts, and sometimes that's where the trouble happens. So yeah, Chris's house there 24/7 on the clock. You can Zoom call, you can phone in. Obviously, you can't go in there now because of what's going on, but they're doing wonders. They're saving lives. They've helped me. They're just like a walking miracle. So if anybody's feeling down, especially in this pandemic and this time of the year, then now Chris's house is always there. You're not alone. You can always speak to somebody, and tomorrow's a new day. There's always light at the end of a horrible day. Just hang on in there and just speak out. Talk to somebody. Talk to me if you need to. Drop me a DM. I mean, I'm not saying I'm a lifesaver, but I can listen and I can pass on your details or pass on to somebody that can really help you.
All right, Chris, thank you very much for the time today, and good luck the rest of the week.
Thank you.
You got it. Next up, we have Eleanor. We will field a few questions from within the room before opening it up to the media. Please remember to click the raise hand function if you have a question.
Cal, it's been a very long time since you were last in action. Just tell us how you're feeling now. You're finally back into a fight week again.
Feeling $1 million. Absolutely over the moon to be back. Obviously, with the current standings in the world and how things are, it's amazing to have an opportunity to make some money and fight and do what we love to do when so many people are out of business. So massive thanks to Bellator for that. I'm buzzing to be back.
And this fight has been a long time in the making. Several occasions it was set to take place. how excited are you finally to put all of the talking aside and just get in there with James and get it done on Saturday?
I'm absolutely buzzing as I see it. Like, it's the opponent doesn't even matter. I'm just so happy to be back. It's been so long and everything's went well this camp. It's been the smartest camp ever. I mean, injuries, stuff like that. I feel $1 million and I'm just buzzing to get back in and finally have a fight. You know, everyone's behind us from the northeast. It's amazing and I'm absolutely buzzing.
James is someone that really seems to thrive off the energy of a crowd, whether it's positive energy or negative energy. The fact that there'll be no one there on Saturday night, do you think that's an advantage towards you?
No, I think it makes any difference. Obviously, once the punches are thrown, it's a fight, obviously. No, it's going to be exactly the same. It's going to be a good, explosive, fast-paced fight for sure.
Gareth?
Gareth A. Davis from the Daily Telegraph. Hi, Cal. How are you doing?
Doing good, mate. How are you?
Good, thank you. Let me just verify. This is the 4th time this has been rescheduled, yeah?
Yes.
How would you feel if one of you didn't feel well or there was a weight cut problem, rather like there's been today with Paul Daly with the event for Thursday? How devastating would it be for you not to be able to fight on Saturday night?
It would be heartbreaking. Obviously, there's so much gone into this, and it's been so long coming. And constantly having the fights with James set up has been something that kind of it's kept me motivated and kept us in the gym. Obviously, I lost my mum when the first one was meant to happen, and obviously getting over that and then moving on. And every time the fight was re-announced, that was kind of what I focused on. So this getting this fight out of the way is like it's more than just a fight for me. It doesn't matter about the opponent. I need this fight, you know what I mean, for myself, just to fight, kind of, you know, just close that all off, that whole part of my life.
Closure on this fight with him, but in another way, he's the only fighter you've been thinking about for, you know, nigh on a year and a bit, you know, year and a half or whatever. So in some ways, have you just got used to him being part of the shadow you're going to fight kind of thing?
Yeah, like it's just been, obviously it's been set up that many times. It's just been like every time, obviously you don't expect the fight not to happen. So it's just been like, oh, I'm just training for the fight again. It's been exactly the same, even though it's been that long. It's just, at the end of the day, it's just been another longer camp, you know what I mean?
And where does victory put you with this? Because, you know, he has been put up there as a bit of a golden boy, sells out in Ireland. They love him as much as they hate him. Where does it put you, a victory over him, in that sense, being significant?
It's massive. Obviously, it's the biggest fight in my career so far, you know what I mean? It's in regards of what it'll do elevation-wise. I'm just excited to get it done. I don't really know where it puts us in rankings and standings and stuff like that, but I don't really care. I'm just happy to have a fight and do what I love to do. Fighting's what I do, and I just enjoy it. I'm not really bothered about where it puts us or who it sets us up to fight. I'm just happy to be here.
Sean?
Hi, Cal. How are things? We were speaking at the start of the lockdown over in the severe MMA Zoom, and you were kind of moving past this. You know, you were kind of like leaving James in the past. Is it a thing of like you kind of did let him down for a while, and now you're kind of getting back into the James mindset? Obviously, fighting him, but you know, everyone's kind of asking you. You've been thinking about nothing but James for the last 2 years. Was it a case of you kind of forgot about him for a while at the start of the year?
No, it's just one of them things, you know, you just get used to it, and obviously it had been cancelled that much that I just thought, like, is this fight going to happen, you know what I mean? It felt a bit cursed, like, I was like we've both trained so hard every time, and it's like, you know what I mean, like, you put that much into the camp, and you time away from your family and stuff like that, and it just got a bit sickening, obviously, each time when it wasn't happening. So I was just ready to say, like, if there was someone else, I was like, I'm happy to do whatever. I'm not bothered about opponents, as I say. I just want to fight.
Mm-hmm. We spoke to James earlier on, and he was, you know, we asked him, are you kind of happy to get it over and done with this fight? And he was saying no, you know, he was looking forward to this matchup now. Where you said there a minute ago, you want to get it over with. Is that because of just the constant like barrage of media and James talking as well coming into this fight?
Nah, I enjoy that. That's part of it, you know what I mean? That's what builds the fight. That's why people are interested in the fight. The reason I want to get it over, it's been that long since I've fought, and as I said, like, it's something that I used as a kind of tool to deal with coping with losing my mum, you know what I mean? So to me, I'm not really asked, and I mean, obviously I've got so much support from back home now. It just feels like every time they've been invested in me and promoting me and helping me, like I feel like I kind of owe to them and me in Northeast Jiu-Jitsu and TFT and my family just to have another fight and show them that like how hard I have worked.
Nathan?
Hi, Carl. How's it going?
Hey, mate, you all right?
How did you find preparing for a fight, kind of with the current situation, lockdown? Were you based in the Northeast the whole time during summer months, or did you move around, or how did you find it?
Obviously, it was a pain at the start because our gyms were one of the last places to open up. I mean, people in other regions were training way before us, and so that was a bit of a nightmare. So it was just me and Ellis, really, me and Ellis Younger grappling all the time. BJJ brown belt world champion, is phenomenal grappler, and every day just putting the work in. And then obviously TFT and Northeast Jiu-Jitsu could open back up, so then it was just back to regular training. So used running and cycling and stuff like that to keep us busy as well, and sorting out our own little strength routine. So it was a blessing in disguise. I mean, I evolved so much in the time that the lockdown was on that it's night and day the difference from me and then you know what I mean. So yeah, well, I mean, it was a blessing in disguise. The lockdown, I really got some good training, so that was it.
And just lastly for me, I was listening to an interview James did last week on Irish radio. He was talking about how much he's watched you, and his opinion was you haven't changed at all as a fighter from when you started. You haven't developed. What would your thought be on that?
Saturday night, we'll see. To say I haven't evolved or changed is a massive understatement, and everyone will say that on Saturday night for sure. I haven't fought in that long, and people have seen footage from me from nearly 2 years ago, and if they think that's the same fighter, then they're going to get a big shock.
Lenny?
Oh, sorry, I had my mic muted. How's it going?
How's it going, Lenny? All right?
Yeah, so entering this fight, you have 3 wins in your last 4. How is the momentum heading into this fight this weekend?
The momentum's good. I mean, obviously, I've had an amazing camp. Evolved so much, like in the time of the lockdown, that at the minute I just feel bulletproof, and I'm just absolutely on cloud 9. I couldn't be happier to be here. I mean, weight cut's going great. I feel amazing, and I'm just happy, man. It's one of them things. I mean, how many people get the chance to get taken to another country just to have a fight with somebody? I mean, it's the stuff you dream about when you're a kid. You know what I mean? So I'm on cloud 9 at the minute.
So you're fighting a highly
Just a few more questions here. Jake Jones?
All right, Cal, Jake here, mate. Although we can't see at the moment, I'm loving your Bronson look now. A couple of questions from me. So now, one thing I love to talk about is you are 6 foot for the 135-pound division, and that is huge. Now, James struggled against Bandejas, who's a similar guy of a similar build, tall and slender. Is there anything you took from that fight, and is there anything you're going to be looking to capitalise on?
No, not really. I mean, obviously, we'll have game plans and stuff like that, and you try and stick them. But I like to get in, and I just like to feel the way the fight is and fight. You know, like obviously, you see me fights. I just like being in there, like being. We have got certain stuff we're going to work that we've put in, especially for this camp. But no, it's a fun fight, and I'm ready to show a whole new aspect to me.
Andrew?
Hi, Cal. Initially, when your fight in Dublin was called off, you and James were quite respectful to each other. Again, when this fight was made, that just seems to go out the window. What is it about James that kind of winds you up and brings out this side of you?
Nothing, literally nothing. It's just one of them things, you know. If you act a certain way with me, you're going to get acted a certain way back. You know, you play silly games and you get silly prizes. Like that's the way it is. And I'm the same with everyone. You know, if you're cool with me, I'm cool with you. If you're a dick with me, I'm going to be a dick with you. And that's just how it goes. Like,
James?
Hi, Cal. How are you doing?
Hi, mate. You all right?
I'm good. Just one thing you spoke about, a big change you've made from your last fighting is the nutritional side of things. We can see from pictures on Instagram the difference from your last fight to now. How much of an effect has that got leading into your weight cut?
Oh, everything. I mean, if people knew the amount I cut when I fought Nathan Grayson, they wouldn't believe it. It was the Yoel Romero level cut, you know what I mean? And I was a skinny guy and didn't have much muscle then at all. And now I'm way lighter than what I was then, and I'm way bigger. It's just a massive change. My energy, everything about the camp was completely different. I feel so big and I feel strong at the minute. You know, I feel super fit. I feel everything's good. And normally at this stage of a fight camp, like ready for the fight. I feel like you get a bit sore from the cutting the weight and stuff like that. But at the minute, I'm bouncing. I mean, I just did loads of rounds of pads earlier. I was skipping shadowboxing and I just felt mint. You know what I mean? I didn't want to stop. I'm going to go and train again later. I can't wait.
And just a follow up on that as well. When you're feeling that good and the weight cut goes well, how much confidence does that give you stepping into that cage?
Unbelievable amounts of confidence. The self-belief I've got in myself anyway is always high, massive, and now it's just going to be even bigger. I'm really looking forward to Saturday night just to get in and have some fun.
Final question here, Jake Smith.
Jake Smith from Fight and Talk. Hi, Carl. Carl, look, you've spoke about it. You have had so much go on in your personal life outside of MMA, in that this James fight is to close that chapter. How different has it been for you to be able to focus on the fight, just purely and solely on the fight this time round, compared to the last 3 times you've been matched?
Yeah, it's been way better. It's been way easier. I mean, like, we've had no distractions. We've had an end goal in sight, and we've just been able to just grind. You know, we've just been able to just get behind closed doors and just do everything, and no distractions, and just work and evolve and fix holes and just enjoy training. I mean, normally, you in your camp, you obviously you're eating less and stuff like that. You normally don't enjoy it as much. But this time around, like the whole camp, like every day, I'm waking up and I'm buzzing to get in the gym, and I was training on the night, and then I was like, well, I've got the energy. I'm just going to go running, and that was pretty much every day. You know what I mean? Like my energy levels this camp has been completely different, and my motivation and self-belief's just been on another level. So I'm just absolutely buzzing, and I think that what maybe had an effect by the lockdown. You know what I mean? Maybe that was what helped us have that extra push. I don't know, but it was just I've just had a mean camp, and I'm so excited.
Appreciate the time, Cal. Good luck the rest of the week.
Cheers, boy.
from the room and then turn it over to the media.
Andy, it's fight week after a long break. Just tell us how you're feeling to be here in Milan.
Oh, I'm feeling great, guys. All job is done. Only left to lose my extra weight. That's it.
Just looking at your records and your opponent's record, on paper, this seems to be a real clash of styles. How do you see the fight going? And is that clash of styles something that you look forward to?
It's really hard to say how it's gonna go because I can fight stand-up. He also can fight on the ground. Thing is, he doesn't submit people on the ground. I do it. He's knocking out people. I'm not really often knocking him out, but I think it's gonna be a great fight. We start from stand-up and later we will see.
You fought for a number of different promotions over the years, and you've got 30 fights to your name. Do you feel that you've got a relative advantage in terms of experience over Charlie?
I don't know, because he fought on Bellator, on the biggest promotion than me on Bellator UFC. I think he has enough experience. Yeah, I was fighting more often on big shows, but not on that level like he is. But I'm ready anyway.
And as we know, it's a very competitive Bellator middleweight division. What does getting your first win for Bellator do for your standing? And do you have an opponent in mind once you've got this fight out of the way?
Can you tell me one more time these questions?
It's a competitive middleweight division in Bellator.
Yes, it's very.
And you're looking for your first win for the promotion. Do you have a next opponent in mind?
I wasn't thinking about this, but I saw it's so many guys in my weight division. Who will be seen next? Maybe with Toka or Fryer. Kevin Fryer, because with Toka I supposed to fight on the last show in London, but show being cancelled. I will be happy to meet with him in the cage.
Gareth?
Hi, Andy. How you doing? Gareth A. Davis from The Telegraph.
Hi, my friend. I'm great. Thank you.
It's great to see you, and it's great that you're in Bellator again for a second time, because in Estonia, you're one of the guys that have carried the sport in your own country, you know. And the growth of our sport is so important in every single European country. What does it mean to you to be representing not just yourself, but your country at a major MMA event at this time in COVID?
I'm really happy. I'm here on the biggest arena in the world, on the Bellator. And what I want to do for my country is no matter win or lose. I want to just show a great fight. I want to motivate more guys because I am quite a big name in MMA in my country.
I know. Yeah, exactly. You're a legend there. You're a legend, you know.
Thank you, my friend.
And you know, this is the moment when the greatest warriors from Europe can meet on a platform that's big enough, that's being shown CBS Sports in America, Sky Sports all over the world. You know, in some ways you're a veteran, but you're still a young man, aren't you? You've got so much more to prove in a brilliant division.
Yes, I'm trying. I'm training every day, 2-3 times in a day, because I'm dreaming a lot and I'm training hard. I don't think I'm gonna be the greatest fighter, but at least I'm gonna be better than I was.
With Charlie Ward, your opponent, yeah, we kind of know what he's going to do. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
Is it important that you slip and slide cleverly in this fight and take him down?
It will be great if I could take him down, but I was prepared to fight him stand up.
Yeah.
I think I can't take his power because I'm ex-Thai boxer and I was world champion. Just need to remember what I was doing before, and that's it. Stop fighting on the ground.
So you fear him nowhere? Yeah.
I have no fear. I have no fear against his heavy hands and everything. I have also good boxing and Thai boxing. I can't take him stand up.
You're going to make it fight of the night. I know that. It's going to be fight of the night. Thank you very much.
Lenny?
Hello, Andy. How's it going?
It's great. Thank you.
So Bellator Milan 2, there's a lot of Irish fighters on the card, and it's kind of like an Irish invasion. Are you here to kind of like spoil the party?
I didn't understand the question.
Okay,
Sorry.
so Bellator Milan 2, the card that you're fighting on, there's a lot of Irish fighters who are fighting on the event, same as you. Are you here to like upset the party like against Charlie Ward?
No, nothing.
Not quite understand?
Yes.
Oh, that's fine with me.
I understood it's like me.
Mm-hmm. So we'll move on. So how have you kind of prepared for someone as ruthless as Charlie Ward, who walks forward, pressure, and a lot of bombs coming at you? How have you kind of prepared for that fight?
I was training a lot of boxing also. I was working on my cardio, and that's it. I need to be mentally ready for this fight. Then he will feel my bombs. I have no fear.
Yeah. Are you looking to come forward and meet his pressure with your pressure?
Not sure. Definitely, I'm not coming forward. So I want to see how he's starting. But he's gonna feel pressure in 1-2 minutes.
Yep, that's all for me.
Not
Thank you
from
very
first
much.
seconds.
Oh, thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, Andy, thank you very much for the time today. Good luck the rest of the week.
Thank you, guys.
We will return shortly with Charlie Leary. Questions from within the room and then open it up again to the media. Please remember to click the raise hand function if you have a question.
It's been a long time coming. It's been a long and extended break for a lot of people. Just tell us how excited you are to put all that to one side and concentrate on fight week now.
It's hard to describe. I've had a tough time and being able to come back and and do what I love doing, and to train again and actually prepare for a fight. It's been amazing, and I can't thank Bellator enough for being able to put on these shows and the extra that they're putting in to make sure that we're safe and we've been able to do what we love and actually put some money in our pockets and food on the table. So it's really exciting.
Your opponent on Saturday, Kiefer, he edged a very tight split decision fight last time out. Did you watch that fight? And if so, what did you learn about him?
I have seen it. I have seen a few of his fights. I actually watched quite a few of his fights before I even knew I was fighting him because I like the way he fights. I think the guy's got no quit in him whatsoever. He comes to fight, he's exciting. And the last fight, I actually feel like he didn't showcase as good a skills as he normally does. I felt like he was a little bit off the pace, but he still got the job done. That's, like I say, that's why I actually like watching him fight and the way he goes in, and he comes to fight every fight. So it'll be a good one.
You said you like his style as a fighter. You've got 9 KOs on your winning record. I take it you're fully expecting it to be a stand-up fight, trading blows. Is that how you see the fight going?
Pretty much, yeah. I expect him to come out and try and take my head off. And I'm going to meet him in the middle and try and do exactly the same, pretty much. So I know he likes to get into a brawl and really go for it. I think if I can be a bit technically better, then I should win the fight. But I do like a brawl as well. So whatever happens, I know it's going to be exciting, and the fans are going to win from this one anyway. So
3 of his last 4 bouts have been in his hometown in Dublin. Do you feel that fighting on neutral ground this time with no fans in attendance in the arena, and does that work to your favour at all?
I'm not sure whether it'll be to my favour because it's going to be strange for both of us. I mean, fighting with no crowd at all is going to be new for both of us, so I don't know how it works. But I mean, he is used to being in a crowd of 9,000 people screaming his name. So coming in as the not the hometown favourite and stuff like that may make it a little bit easier for me, and it may affect him more. But like I say, it's going to be the same for both of us. It's going to be the quiet room, and it's going to be a bit strange, but best man will win. So,
Gareth.
Hi, Charlie. Gareth A. Davis from the Daily Telegraph. Hi. I wanted to ask, there hasn't been much talk about people's stories today in this Zoom session. You've got a very interesting background. Can you tell us how you got into MMA, and how you've progressed to this level?
It was a bit strange. I mean, I never really was into fighting that much when I was younger. I always played football. So I was signed to Watford as a youngster. I then spent my early teens and into my 20s playing for Wealdstone, and loved it up until I was about 25. And I felt like the game was changing, and I fell out of love with it. Now, my brother was a decent amateur boxer, so I'd always watched combat sports and always watched boxing and always loved the sport of MMA. And then finally found somewhere to train at about 25, and walked into a scout hut for my first session, not really expecting to see David Lee actually coaching in a scout hut. And there he was teaching, and I didn't look back since. So I went in there, quit football after about 2 months of training, done a couple of amateurs, and then that was it. Started turning pro.
So it really is almost like you fell in love with something and it became, the love of your life, and then you just fell in love with something else almost immediately. And what was it about MMA?
You know what? It was the whole aspect of combat sport. Do you know what I mean? It was the competition of, this is the best fighter in the world. Do you know what I mean? If you're the best at MMA, you are the best fighter in the world. I know you've got the boxers and you've got your kickboxers and you've got all these different aspects to it. If you can put it all together as an MMA fighter, then it makes you the best in the world. Do you know what I mean? And it's a competition. I like to test myself. I like to try and push myself as hard as I possibly can. And you don't get any better competition than MMA. Do you know what I mean? So it was, it was definitely love at first training. Basically, I fell in love with it as soon as I started, and that was it.
And also, I suppose you discovered, and you may have known this before you did it, that in a team sport, you can have your greatest or your worst game, but you're either winning or losing either way. It doesn't matter. You can have your greatest game and you get hammered. You could have your worst game and you win the cup or you win the league that day. But whereas in what you're doing now, it's all on you. And I suppose that's what thrills you, really.
Yeah, that is a big part. It's a strange one. I mean, in football, you're always reliant on your team as well. Do you know what I mean? Like you say, you can be having a great game and you're trying to get your team through it, and people are having off days and you end up losing. Where MMA, I mean, people say it's not a team sport, it's individual. And the thing is, our team, without everyone putting all that effort in and helping me out day in, day out. So it is a team sport in that sense. But when that cage door shuts, I mean, my corner team do as much as they possibly can by shouting at me. But like you say, it's all down to me. If I perform, then I win, or a lot of the time. And if I don't perform, then I don't win most of the time. So that is it. It is a lot of aspects. It's down to me, and that's what I like.
Can't wait to see you on Saturday night, mate. Thanks very much.
Appreciate it. Cheers, mate.
All right, Charlie. Thank you very much for the time, and good luck the rest of the week.
Thank you very much, mate. Appreciate it.
You got it. And reminder for the rest of us joining, thank you all for joining us. First of all, we look forward to having you join us once again on Saturday for Fight Night. Thank you.